welcome the host of Guild Night, John Cochise Boozin'.
If you ever told yourself that you're going to leave immediately after a guild talk was over, and then 5 hours later you found yourself half buzzed in the UC courtyard with a cigar in your hand, go ahead and smash that like button. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment, get real weird down in the contacts, get weird in the comments, down in the DMs, whatever you freaks got to do. And let me be the first to say, hello, my little duckies. Or, since this is brought by specific and special request, hello, boys and ghouls. I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember Tales from the Crypt. If not, I'm going to go ahead and march myself down to the retirement hall. Tonight's stream is brought to you by Black Horse Security. We love those guys. Thank them very much. Go ahead and drop by their website. I know they're hiring. They're great dudes. Say hello to them on Slack. Give them much, much love. To start things off, we have a little bit of a competition this week. What is this competition? I don't know. What is it? What is it? I don't know. I'll tell you what it is. So instead of randomly picking people from comments and things just kind of being a lottery, minus ripping off the Florida education system, we're going to do things a little different this week. Go ahead and in the events chat on our Slack. And if you're not on our Slack, that's a problem. And go ahead and post a picture of your home office, your video game setup / coronavirus war shelter, and tag me at Cochise. And whoever has the coolest setup with the most blinky flashy lights, because Marines like flashy lights, gets some kind of cool thing. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's a cannon. Maybe it's not a cannon. Maybe it's like an A-10 Warthog. I don't know. Not even I know. What's also going to be cool about this is a new series we have coming up. What is this new series? It's called the Classified series. And I could tell you what it is, but it's classified. To hype it up a little bit, our art department, led by our wonderful chief propagandist, Chris, came up with something really, really cool that's also super classified. I hope it doesn't get leaked. I wonder what it is. Let's see what it is.
Though your heart is aching, smile, even though it's breaking. When there are clouds in the sky, you'll get by if you smile. Through your fear and sorrow, smile, and maybe...
Oh my God. That was dope. That came out really good. Pretty happy with how that was. I had nothing to do with it. That was all Chris. Give him Lubbins in the Slack channel. Tell him how awesome his art is. Tell him how awesome he is. That is coming to an Undercroft near you. This first talk is going to be on May 5th. And I guarantee you, each and every one of you, that the talk that has been given is information that is A, not publicly available, and B, came at actually some really heavy research. So if you're a guild member, get ready for this talk. If you're not a guild member, that sucks. However, I also have to say this is our last public stream. Like, for this year, you know, we did our charity, we have our tax write-off, and now what you guys need to do, knife hands here, is join the guild. You need to join the guild. If you use the discount code last call, which should be displaying down here or somewhere, you'll get 15% off to join the guild. And I would do this now because, and we're not going to tell you when, there are plans in the making here to eventually close the guild off. And eventually, who knows, maybe the only way into the guild is to know somebody in the guild. So get it in now. Go ahead, join the guild. And normally the guild is $100 a month. Get your 15% off. Why? Because then you, the humble person sitting at home, get the opportunity to give me money. Now that's an amazing offer. It's not available for everybody, and it's extremely prestigious to be able to give me money. But I am offering this to you out of the kindness of my heart. So go ahead, use the promo code last call and give me money. Because come on, like this, I don't even know why I need to sell you on this. I don't know what's wrong with you. Join the guild and give me money. It's great. Anyways, moving into the festivities for the evening is a talk. What kind of talk is this? It's a talkie talk. This guy has impressed me a lot, our speaker for tonight. I met him in September of last year at the AFC Bug Hunt. and he had just gotten out of USF/Cyber Florida's New Skills for a New Fight program, which is actually a brainchild. That's a creation of our CEO, Adam Sheffield, hashtag Woden. That's his brainchild idea. And essentially what it is it's exactly what it says on the box. It's New Skills for a New Fight, where they take veterans that are transitioning out of the military or have already transitioned out of the military, and they train them on basic cybersecurity stuff. Now, what I didn't know about this, our speaker tonight, is he'd been a web guru since he got out of the Army. We have 3 Army guys in the entire Undercroft. And for my Marines sitting at home that are guild members, we got a new Marine coming into the guild, freshly out of the Marine Corps, just ran his PFT, has his green on green with him, rocking the silkies. I'm super excited, giving him his creds tomorrow. Everybody will meet him. But yeah, met this guy, and I would say 3 or 4 hours into the bug hunt, he found this super disgusting bug where your login credentials and private key are held in a variable. And everybody went nuts when he found this bug. It was actually awarded Best in Show. And since then, he got a couple jobs since then. I'll let him introduce himself, but I'm extremely proud to know him. I'm extremely proud to call him a friend. I'm also extremely proud to call him a member of the guild as well. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce you to the speaker tonight. Number 1 panda friend here, Lieu. Hit it.
It's time for Hacking HTTP Request with Postman by Tymito. It's time for Hacking HTTP Request with Postman by Tymito.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for the intro. An awesome intro. Thank you. So my name is Tymito. Today, I'll be leading a talk about hacking HTTP requests with Postman. Give me a second. I'm stuck on my laser printer. Sorry about that. Let me get this laser printer. Oop. Laser point out the way. There we go. All right. So how did I get the name Tymito? So I was out having drinks with my buddies back in the Army days. Well, like we always do. We always get drunk. Got drunk and just decided, hey, let's get a Spanish sounding name. So I came up with Tymito. So it stands for Little Ty. So going Tymito, I thought your name was Ty, but it's a little coincidence. A couple years later, I noticed that Tymito is actually Ty MI2. So it's kind of funny how that came together. So Kobe said, I'm an Army vet I was in the infantry. It was the one good thing I was good at at the time. I got into the unit as an E1. I was promoted to E5, the rank of sergeant, within 2 years. I graduated the Ranger pre-training. They called it Ranger Indoctrination Program, RIP. It was about a 3-week program. We were getting fed about 1 MRE a day, average about 3 hours sleep. And the last week, we only got, for that field exercise, we only got about an hour of sleep a day. So it was the hardest three weeks of my life. I think at the time I was like 140 pounds. Yeah, I was skinny little dude. After that 3 weeks was done, I lost 17 pounds. I was down to like bones. Eventually, I got out. They didn't send me to Ranger School because I have less than a year left. I got out because they weren't paying too much, and there was a lot. My passion was always computers, so I wanted to get out and pursue that passion. But I did join the National Guard after I got out, get into the field artillery. But it wasn't the same. The infantry field artillery was kind of close combat, but I just didn't get the same, I guess, brotherhood. So I got out. But after 9/11 after happened, I enlisted back in the National Guard. I was actually planning to go into Special Forces. At the time, I was waiting my citizenship, but it was pending, and the recruiter said, hey, just come in as for now, and then when you get your citizenship, just transfer over to Special Forces. I was like, no, cool, all right. So I went in, to sign the paperwork to come in as a MP in military police. And then about a week before I was supposed to report to the unit, they told the recruiter called me up and said, hey, in this MP unit, they're getting deployed overseas. Like, you might want to change your MOS. It was only about I think less than a week since I signed the paper, so I was allowed to do that. They said, hey, just go in as a maintenance company. Those maintenance guys, they never get activated. So I went in as a weapon repairman, a small arms repairer. And of course, the one unit at the time was Colorado. One unit in Colorado, National Guard unit, that one maintenance unit got activated. So my plan of going to Special Forces kind of froze. Once your unit get activated, they freeze anyone from transferring. So after that, I just got up, and I was done with the Guard. I couldn't do that anymore. I was in college. I was primary. Went back. Sorry about that. Okay. My current job is sorry, she just went up slide. But I first got into a website design back in 2001. It's kind of sad because I might be able to say to some people, "Hey, I've been building websites before you were born." So that's kind of sad now that I'm thinking about it. But let me show you this one website I did. This was from the Wayback Machine, web.archive.org. So you can see all the old cache of websites they had back then. So this was back in 2001. I was in Colorado. I love sports. I was learning how to design websites, and 4 major teams right there. So this was a free site, of course. I just wanted to provide people with just information. It just shows the standings, how to listen to games. Back then, they weren't streaming live games. You were only able to listen to games through the radio or internet. You could buy tickets, photo galleries, and this is if you ever did web design, this is old school because this is all done in frames. No one does that anymore. It's really vulnerable to clickbaiting or clickjacking. So this was and I did that because that's what I wanted to do. That's what I love doing, computers. When I was after I got out of college, I started a business with my uncle. So I've been in business only 14 years. So just we were selling Lucky Bamboo plants pretty much, and I was designing a lot of websites on the side and doing a lot of custom add-ons, whatever the company needed. I just made new add-ons instead of paying for someone to do it. I just did it myself. I was primary coding in PHP. Programming has changed so much since then that once I sold the business, I had to relearn everything. I had to learn new programming languages. Have to see what changed since then, because I was primary on the PHP. I was falling behind everyone. So instead, I had a passion for cybersecurity. I remember back in the day when Kevin Mitnick got arrested. I bought his book, and I was just fascinated with all the stuff he did. But I just running the business never had the time to switch over to cyber. So once I saw the business, I decided to make that move. Since I have to learn something, I'd rather be learning something I'm passionate about. But getting my foot in the door was difficult. A lot of companies out there, they want people with experience as an entry level, and I didn't have any cyber experience, even though I had the background in programming. They still wanted people with experience in cyber. So I pretty much took whatever job I could get in cyber. I started in AppSec, application security. I was an analyst for looking at codes, source codes. It's kind of boring looking at other people's code. So my plan was to learn as much as I can for that 6 months, and then start looking for other opportunities, because I know more opportunities, more doors will open. And I wanted to get in web pen testing. So, and networking is important. It doesn't matter how many certs you got. If you're trying to get in the door, you gotta have the right connections. It will get you a lot further in the field than someone that's getting in cyber than someone that has a whole bunch of certs. And here, there's so many people here. They got like 10 plus years of experience in the guild, and they're here calling themselves noobs. I hear a lot, noobs. Like, you're not a noob, but that's what they call themselves. So if they're a noob, no, I'm still a baby. No, you know nothing, Tymito. So who am I? So I came I was in the new skill for new fight program, and I actually came in first. It was a 9-week program. Came in first. Came in second place in the team for the bug hunt. Found the most devastating bug. I love doing CTFs. My first CTF, I got 20th place, and then after that, 29th, and the one that just recently finished last month was I got 20th place. There's if you like CTF and want to get in CTF, OWASP Tampa, check them out, because they actually have one coming up next month. I don't think it's advertised yet, but if you need more information, just contact one of the guild or just send me email. Before I get started, just a disclaimer. I gotta let you give the disclaimer. Computer fraud is under the U.S. Code 1030. U.S. Code 18, paragraph 1030A. Says knowingly and with intent to defraud is punishable by imprisonment for no more than 5 years. And maximum fine you get is $250,000 if you're individual and $500,000 if you're a company. So with the disclaimer, do not hack anything that's not yours. Do not hack anything that you do not have permission in writing. Okay. So I just before I get started, I just want to thank Wooden for he's the CEO of the Undercroft, and he's also the founder of the New Skills, New Fight program that I went through last year. So it's just awesome what he's been doing and what he has done, and can't wait to see what else he has planned for the future. Also, like to thank the Undercroft, their mission, to make each of us, leaders, so we could give back to community and train others what we learn. They've been really influential in my career in the cyber field. And last of all, I just want to thank the members at the guild, just for teaching me when I first got to the place. Everyone just welcomed me with open arms. Willing to teach. They're not trying to hold anything back. Secrets. Like, hey, we can't teach them that. That's confidential. They're just there to mentor. To help you to network, to encourage each other. Just pretty much push each other to be better. So what is Postman? We could use Postman to design and test APIs. A little history about Postman. It started back as a side project to create a tool for API testing. The co-founders, it's up there on the screen. I can't even pronounce their name. They're based in I know they got weird names, but the headquarters is actually based in San Francisco, California. It first gained popularity in 2012 when one of the co-founder uploaded his project in the Chrome store, and that's what we can be using today, the Chrome store app. And Postman becomes a native app back in 2015, first to the Mac, and then a couple months later to Windows and Linux. Now it's being used by over 10 million developers and 500,000 companies. So API testing, is that really testing or hacking? Well, it's up to you. It depends on your goal. No, if you want to use it for hacking, you can. If you want to use it for testing, you can. So it's all on your motives. So for this walkthrough, I'll be installing the Chrome app version. Reason for that is I know a lot of you guys are conscious of what's get installed in your computer. So by going through the Chrome app version, it's depreciated. Now it's no longer maintained, but you could at least get a feel of what the program could do, the software could do. And then if it's something you like, then you just download the native app, which will open up a lot more options for you to do. All right, so all right. So let's start with the basic understanding a web application. So web applications, they're driven by what we it's called HTTP, which stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol. It's a core of how the web communicate. It's used by today's web application. It's a message-based model, which means that a client sends a message or sends a request for a message, and the server then responds with a message. Example of a HTTP session is on the diagram, a user would use a browser and it requests a message from the server. Most of the time it's normally port 80 or 8080. The server's listening at the port, and when it receives a message, it responds with a reply with a response. And most of the time the response will have a message. Oh, I think all this happens in the background. Sorry, I'm having trouble with the scrolling. It's there we go. Went out too fast. All right. So query strings. By diagram, you can see how the query string is structured together. You know, first you'll have the protocol. In this example is HTTP. You got the domain, which is website.com. The resource is widgets. Resource ID is ID equals 27, and sometimes you'll get a action. In this example is ordered by name. So what could hackers do with this information when they're looking at it? No. So this one, by looking at it, they could do something we call data tampering, where they could just play around with data. So always pay attention to the parameters in the URL. And I have an example here, so if you guys want to follow along, feel free. So we're gonna go to this website to demo.testfire.net. Once we get there, we'll log in as and the default password username is admin. Let me go ahead and bring up that screen there. All right, so this is just of course a demo test website. So you're free to. I think you're free to hack it. I should have read the fine print, but this is used a lot for testing. So feel free to go ahead and play around at this website. So password, username is admin, password is admin, all lowercase. So once we log in, you'll get the options to select your accounts. Okay, I actually have, it's not showing up because I have my Postman running. But let me turn that off and refresh the screen. Uh-oh. Demo gods are not liking me. All right, let's go to plan B, which is my Mozilla. All right, so admin. and you'll see your accounts here. You can see there's two accounts here. Here's your 800001 account, and you can see the account is also up here in the URL. So when we change this back to the 800 or 800,000, you can see that the URL changes too. So what happens if we decide to start playing with the data, the data tampering? So we know we got the 80001 and 80000. I'm missing a couple there. But let's go ahead and change the back number to the last number to 2. You can see we're actually tampering with the data. This is not our account. We only have the 2 accounts on there, but we're able to see someone else's account. So this is just I guess a demo. You're not going to see this in a lot of live sites because they have validation going on. But this is just to give you a concept of what data tampering is. Go ahead and close that. So again, always pay attention to the parameters in the URL. All right, next thing I want to talk is routing. Routing is pretty much a replacement for query strings. Now, data can be they can still be modified. So instead of having ID equals to 27, which is right there, the resource ID, now you got just 27. So well, one thing hackers could do here is called action tampering. So instead of messing with the ID, the resource ID, now they can start messing with the action verbs or the methods. So in this example, they just added a delete at the end to see if it would delete that one resource. So if you see routing being used, try adding actions to the end of it to see what happens. This is one of the example of untrusted data. All right, so intro to web APIs or application programming interface. So user may use multiple devices to connect to a server. Let's say we got the server here in this diagram. Let's say that's weather.com. Now you could access information from weather.com through your browser, your phone, your tablet, even your smart home hub, smartwatch, Alexa, even a camera, a webcam. So on this uses different interfaces, and API is what makes it possible for all these devices to communicate to that one server. So API, it's defined. It defines the call, the kind of calls that or requests that can be made to it. It will tell you how to make those calls, how the data format should be used, the convention to follow, and this is known as API documentation or API specification. I got a couple demos here. So first one is going to be at the GitHub jobs. So this is a pretty simple website. And if you go down to the bottom page, there's and this is the API. Yeah. So, all right. So just search for GitHub's jobs. I should have the URL in there, but I got a hot link, so I apologize for that. So I'm having trouble with Chrome, so I'm just gonna go on Firefox. So GitHub API. And here you can see the different schemas and stuff for the API, how you use it. I'm not gonna get too much into it. I just want to kind of introduce you guys to it. And the one I really want to show you is GitHub jobs. There we go. All right. So this here should give you a couple examples. So on with these, you could go through the URL. You can see the parameters there, descriptions. Let me make that a little bigger for you guys. The parameters here is description equals to Python, location equals to New York. So those are two parameters that can be called that is used for this host. So we could change when we do a search. We could change modify the parameters here. And let's go to the second one. That's kind of boring, but there's one here that one of the members of the guild, Bubba Fat, showed me. It's a Poke API. This is pretty neat. So with APIs, different routing, you could change the parameters in there. Like right now, Pokemon 1 is Bulbasaur. If we were to change that, do an API call to get Pokemon 2, it would change to Ivysaur. And APIs, you could do different parameters. So instead of using Pokemon number or Pokemon IDs, you could use their names, like Pikachu, maybe. So Pokemon Pikachu, and then you can also do API calls with different types and different abilities. So let's dig a little deeper. So it's pretty easy to change parameters and values, but what's really going on in the background? Now, it's important to understand what's behind the scenes, because now a lot of stuff can't be done by just looking at the URL. Developers, they like to hide stuff. They might have hidden fields, and just looking at the URLs, you can't see those. So you gotta look what's behind the scenes, so you can understand what's happening. So tools you could use are some of the tools you could use are they got built-in tools in the browser. Like you could view the source, you could inspect the elements. You could do that both in Chrome or Firefox. You can make good use of other tools like Burp. They have the community edition for free. OWASP is free, it's open source, and Postman is also open source and free. So my goal today is to cover the basics of HTTP requests, show you information that you can obtain, how to use it to help you understand what's going on behind the scenes. So when you understand the framework, when you understand what's going on behind the scenes, you will know where's the best place to plan your next attack. Here you can see the attacker represented on the top of the mask. So he has the option, he could hack the user. He could be the man in the browser, attack, or he could be in the middle. He's sniffing your traffic, or he could be attacking the server on the network, or even getting data in the database. So he has many avenues to go through, and him knowing what's behind the scene will kind of make it easier for him to do those attacks. And I'll get into a little bit more about that later. So all HTTP messages, request and response, they consist of one or more headers. Each Sorry about that. So each of these headers, oh, where am I at? Okay. So the first line, the request line, it's consists of the HTTP method or the verb. In this example is get. And then you'll follow by the request URL and then the HTTP version. So what's the main difference between let's say HTTP 1.0 and 1.1? 1.1 is the most popular one, but you'll see there's a host. So in this host right here, on this example, Juice Shop Tymito 2020, that is mandatory in the 1.1. So before that, they didn't need it. Some other headers here. So the user agent will tell you what kind of browser you're using. So that's why when you go to a website, they go like, hey, you're using Chrome or you're using Firefox. And then there's a Postman token. Okay. And there's always an empty line after the headers, and that's how the browser and devices know that it's the end. So it's mandatory to have that empty line in it, and then for a request, it's optional to have a body message. It's not required. So by default, get is the default method. So if you were to enter something in the browser like Google, www.google.com, it's using the get method, even though you don't specifically tell them to use that method. That's the default. So get is to request a resource. Post is to create a resource. Put, of course, modifies a resource, and then delete will delete one. There's other methods. I'm not going to discuss it, but it's options, head, trace, connect, patch. So those are a few that you could, if this really interests you, you could dig into that. Protocols. First ones started back at the, I guess, 0.9 and 1.0. Those two uses the single request response pair, which means back then when you need to make a request and the server will respond, it ends the session. So each time you have to make a request, and you have to start a new session. So it's of course it's pretty slow, and that's why they came with the developed 1.1. And 1.1, you can make multiple requests, and they have something in the header called the keep alive header field that keeps that session open, and then once it's done, the server would send that, hey, I'm done, and it would close out. There's also 2.2. It's gaining popularity. Only problem is when it sends all the information, it's compressed and makes one single connection. Problem with that is something called the head of line blocking. So if something gets stalled or held up, the next transmission won't be able to process until that first one's done. Some consider that a flaw, and that's why they came out with 3.0 trying to fix it. The 3.0 is actually in your browser now. You can activate in your browser. If you have a stable version, you can activate and use HTTP 3, but by default it's turned off. All right, so let's take a break and do some demo. So let me get rid of, I know there's a shortcut to get rid of this laser pointer. I just don't know how to do it. All right, so Juice Shop, let me go ahead and remove this. And then I got, also got the app, and you guys could install it. We'll walk through it and install it together. All right, so first thing we'll do to install this is just go to your extension in Chrome, and this is a Chrome in the Chrome Web Store, so you won't be able to download this on at least the cloud version on Firefox. So you gotta use Chrome. That's the one I guess one downside. So go down here to the Open Chrome Web Store and just type in Postman. All right. Up. Of course, it's not working. Let me go ahead and switch over to another browser. All right, so I got this this other account here. Having trouble with my other account. So again, go over to excuse me, to Tools, Extensions, and you'll go down to the web store. All right, type in Postman. All right. What? Let me try this route, see if that works. There we go. I guess there. All right. So this is actually the app. I do need the app, but let me go get the extension also. Let me go back to extension here. So it's also called an interceptor. So Postman interceptor. So you can see up here it says extension on your upper left corner. So I already got things installed. So I'm going to go ahead and remove it just so you can see being installed. Add the extension. And easiest way is to get the app, the Postman app, is just click on this related tab here. You'll see overview, review, support, and related. And go down to the bottom and hit Postman. You'll get a warning that says it's depreciated, but we can go ahead and install it. And once you install it, just launch the app. Really got this. All right, there. Okay, there it goes, hidden in the background. So you'll get a prompt to sign up or log in, but go down to the bottom here. It says take me straight to the app. So I'll create an account another time. So there's no need to create the account to test it out. So just go ahead and do that for now. And then if it's something you see yourself using in the future, you go ahead and actually download the native app instead of this. Scroll. So I'm gonna make this into accidentally turn it off. Make this a little smaller so we can see both screens. All right, so we're gonna go to the juice shop. That's kind of like our CTF or our attack website. So go ahead and do juice shop. Roku. So you see on this one, it's the second link here, and I'll zoom in so you can see the links. So we want this one here, juiceshop-shop or juice-shop.herokuapp.com. So we're gonna make sure we turn on the interceptor. Just click on this right here using, it'll say still using the Postman Chrome app, say yes. Turn that on. And so it's gonna intercept all your requests, kind of like a proxy, like a proxy. And it's gonna send it to this the web app here. So click on here and make sure this is turned on also. And we're gonna do a test. I'm just gonna hit refresh. There we go. Clear. Let's clear that. All right, hit refresh. You can see all on the left side here. You see all those intercepted requests. So all right, so let's go and just look at some of these verbs, HTTP methods. So as we click on the link, just pay attention on the left-hand side. We want to look for any other methods, more like a post, puts, deletes. Gets are just what you're getting from the server. So there's not much to hack on there, but so let's go ahead and do a test account. So you're not gonna get any email, so you could actually put a fake email here if you want. Tymito@mail.com. Oh, I'm actually logging in, so let me go down here and create a user. Cancel. Tymito@mail.com. My password's gonna be 12345. The minimum is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, so once I click register, you're actually gonna do a test. So actually 1, 2, 3, 4 is gonna be my password. I should get an error because I'm not hitting, actually they won't even let me go through. It's because my password needs to be more than 5, at least 5 characters. So go ahead, create the account. You can see the post on the left side. It's never from this site. Okay. So the post on the left side, you see 2 of these posts here. So what we do is we gotta click on this here and click on the body. You'll see a body tab. So this is what I'm sending over to the web server. So you can see my email address there, my password. So remember, the minimum is 5 characters. So what happens? I would just use a 4-character password, and let's call that Tymito 4 because I got 4 characters as my password. I'm gonna go ahead and send that, and then look at the bottom here. You'll see they successfully created an account. So I bypassed that mechanism for the password. It requires 5, but since the validation is being done on the browser, it's not being done on the API. That's why I'm able to do that. So just to test it out, I'm gonna go ahead and log in as the Tymito 4. That's the one with the 4 characters as my password, just to see if it works. Tymito. Oh, it's actually Tymito Mail. All right, so you can see I logged in with just 4 characters. So let's go around, just poke around some more, see if we can find any other methods. So here, there's a couple other links. Let's go with the feedbacks. I can leave a feedback. I'll just do tests. Click one of that. This 14. Just see what happens. You see, there's a pose. So that went through. That's fine. So there's really nothing too interesting there. So when you're testing a website, the first thing you always want to do is just do a recon. Just click around just to see how the website functions. And then if there's anything that stands out, then you could near start playing with it or put on your low list of what to do later. So I'm gonna go to downloads. I'm just gonna download upload. See, let's try to upload a file, but it says too big. And later on, I'll actually come back. This is one of my demos later. I know Clever Shark talked about uploading, trying to use a method to send a file up there. And I'll bypass this restriction of trying to upload a different file instead of a PDF later on. I believe there's a put. Let me try to get one of these put methods. Okay, so let's add something to cart. You see there's a put method. So what's happening in the background, if you could see, when I add something new, it's actually sending a post at first because they're creating a resource. It's creating an item in your basket. So you see there's only one basket now. So when I add this one here, and I already have two of these apple juice. So when I click on this, it's gonna update something. It's gonna update the quantity to 3. So that's why you'll see a put request. So pay attention to the left as I click this, and you can see there's a put. And if we go to this method, we could change it. You can see it changes the quantity to 3. If I did change it to 9, I just change the value and hit send. In this example, it wouldn't work because the max you could put is 5. So I'll just change it to actually I'll change it to -1 just to show you that you could do a lot of funky stuff that people don't test for. So I was able to send a -1 to it. So that's kind of where you can't do that on the website. So you see now they owe me $1.99. So if you try to do it here, it's not going to work. It's making checks here on the website, but it's not making checks on the API. So that's why Postman and other tools like Burp on Zap, people use that to kind of get around these the testings that developers do on websites, but they don't do on the API side or by close to the server side. So let's go back here and let's add a new product. So when I add this here, I'm gonna call it the banana one. So it's gonna do a post because it's adding a new item to the shopping basket. So when I click on that, you see there's a post right here, and I'll show you the shopping cart. So you see the banana there. So let's go to that put request, and now I can start changing fields here. So let's change the product ID. This product 8, whatever that is. I'm not sure what that is. Change it to 2. Let's go ahead and send that. And you're going, what's the benefit of doing that? Why would want to do like just a mystery item? Did that not? Okay, there we go. So I added, I didn't even know what number that was, a shirt. So why would I want to add that? Sometimes developers would have hidden products, and or they want to hide products, and by using the API, you could able to access if you already know what numbers in the database, you could enter the number in there. And okay, let's go ahead and do delete. Let's delete this one. Let me scroll up. And you can see the delete method being called here. So I do not know. Oh, so there's no, I guess, nothing in the body, because it's everything's getting sent through the URL. Let me stretch this out so you can see the rest of it. See, it's just deleting whatever this number 12 is. So let's go ahead and try to delete this through the API. I'm not sure what number this is, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a number to this just to see what number shows up on the Postman. So I hit update to 2, and there it goes. That number, that item number is number 9. You can see right here in the put, number 9. Just to test that again, I'll increment this by 1. Take a look at the put, and that's number 9. So let's go to my delete. I'm going to delete this first one through the API. So let's delete number 9, and that should delete that first one at the bottom. See, you can see the response down here, and just refresh this, and this should disappear. So I'm doing all this through the API because there's less validation through the API. So let's go back to the slides. So HTTP status code, they're divided into 5 groups. So why are these codes important? As you can see down in the list, there's I'm not even sure how many that is, like good 30 something codes. So why do you need to know this? So the browser will when they get the request, the response, that's how they determine how to handle that. That's their primary, I guess, thing they use to decide how to talk back to you, to the user. So the 200 is the most common status code. It just means that whatever you requested was successful, and it's being returned to you. So why is this important? Attackers can, they could see the status code. Let's say if they see a 403, which means forbidden, the attacker knows that this page exists, but they just don't have privilege to it right now. So that means the attacker could try to attack and see what page that is, and it also shows you that reveals to the attacker that directory that file is valid. So there might be more stuff in that directory. When you see a 404, and an attacker see a 404, no, there's nothing there. So it's just time to move on to something else instead of trying to play with trying to look for that one file that doesn't exist. Now it's a 404. It doesn't exist. Let's just move on to something else. Well, sometimes developers could be pretty sneaky. You might get a visit page, and on the page, it'll say, "Oh, you reach a 404 error." But if you look at the code, if you see the code says 200, it means it's okay. The request is good, but the browser saying it's 404. What shows up in your browser? The developer is trying to hide something. That page is valid, but the developer is trying to trick you to let you know that it's not valid. So that's one of the things you should definitely know. At least know remember the comments, not remember, but at least have it handy. So if you're doing any testing, attacking, CTFs, if you know these codes, it'll kind of help guide you and not guide you, but at least help you determine what's the best next step. After the browser get the status code, it starts looking at the header fields. So on the response, the HTTP response, the first line of every response consists of these three things here. Now, it'll tell you the version, it'll tell you the status code, and it'll tell you the text meaning of that status code. There's some other points of interest that you might want to pay attention to. Like here's a server that tells you what version the server's running, the application, also other stuff, the context type, and it's when the headers are done, it's separated by the empty line, similar to the request, and here's the body. So this body is what most of the people see. Now you'll you hardly see when you're using a browser. You don't really see the headers unless you want to see it. No, it's by default it's hidden. No, it's not shown in the browser. So going back to this field here, the server field. So why is this important? Why do I care about this? So an attacker, they could look at the headers and see what the server and what version it's running. So in this example, we see that it's running Microsoft IIS, which is a server, web server, and it's running 6.0. So what I could do, let me get this laser pointer out again. I could just go in Google, and I could search here. Let me bring up the browser. This CVE details is a really good resource. So I'm going to go to CVE details. I know it's running IIS 6.0. Here, I'll just do. And look at on this vulnerability it has, the 6.0 has. So you can see up, I think there's a better page of this. Let me enter 6.0, see if I can get a better description there. Okay, same thing. Okay, that's what I was looking at. When I click on the 6.0 up here, it kind of gave me a breakdown of what exploit or what vulnerability it's is vulnerable to. So I can see here, deny a service. I don't really care about that. Cross-site script, okay. But there's a couple here, execution code. There's 7 of them, and it shows you. It's all in a nice little table here. If I want to see all the different 7 code execution, I click on here to just focus on this. If you were at the talk last week where Clever Shark was talking about Metasploit, these you could search for Metasploit if you want to use Metasploit, or you could craft your own exploit through these here. But you click on the details, it'll tell you how the different ways are how it's vulnerable to, what kind of vulnerabilities it has. But let me go ahead and show you a Metasploit one. Okay. Metasploit IIS 6.0. I did not see it here. There's a. Let me try and narrow that down. I know there's Rapid7 who maintains Metasploit. They have a good page. It's actually have the. Here, I'll just type it. I have the link, but I can't. Unable to copy and paste right now. I'm gonna go ahead and type that in. It's a DB. Copy that just in case I mistype something. All right. Oh, forgot the W. All right. So this is a Metasploit. Oh, then it's IIS. Let's give that a try. All right, here we go. This is what I want to show you guys here. So if you click on one of these, it'll tell you the description of vulnerability, and it'll tell you the Metasploit exploit to use. So if I were to attack that one server, I would try this exploit here. So that's why knowing what's in the header could be helpful for you, because those are information that's revealed to you by the server. It's there. You just need to know where to look for it and need to understand what you're seeing. So Juice Shop. So we'll do some more demo on. Oh, yes. Let me go ahead and do a couple. Let me see how we're doing on time. Okay, I'll do all the demos at the end. There's a couple demos I want to show you. Due to the lack of time, we'll kind of combine it all at the end. So our authentication. So what is authentication? Why do you need it? So with the browser, it's stateless, means it doesn't keep track of who is accessing this website. So it needs some form of validation to know who is who, because without authentication, everyone is just anonymous to the website. So normally, most typical way for application to validate someone is through the username and the password. Once that the application validates that username and password, and it's valid, they normally create a cookie or a token, and that is kind of like your ID, your how the website keeps track of who you are. See what. All right, so that's Shop. Okay, I got. All right, so let's go to the Juice Shop again. So what I'm gonna do is I'll first start off. I'm gonna switch over to the native app, because there's a couple more stuff, more options that was added since they depreciated and stopped updating the Chrome app. So let me bring up Postman native app. The native app's gonna look pretty much the same. I mean, most of the layouts are pretty much the same. There's a couple more, minor. I wouldn't say minor. There's a couple more options. I'm gonna go ahead and delete my history here. Let me turn on the Interceptor. So with the native app, I'm installing the app. It's called an Interceptor, and the extension, the Chrome extension. So there's 3 different things. This Interceptor bridge, it's actually a service running on your Windows machine. So that's why I didn't start off with that, because people might be a little hesitant of installing a service. So I got that running. Just I deleted the extension. Let me go back and add the extension. Yep, it's the app. All right. Extension, okay. So this is a little funky here. So sometimes I'll have to start Postman. Okay, interceptors connected. All right, make sure. Because right now it's not seeing seeing that connection. Let me go ahead, close this and restart it again. Interceptor is on. I'm just closing all my other browsers here. And let's see if it recognizes my bridge. The bridge is still off. Okay, it finally got it. Okay. All right, so all right, let me go ahead and clear this to make sure that everything is working. Okay, so it's communicating. Good, good. All right, so first demo I want to do is actually the upload. So am I logged in? I think so. I'm just not sure if that's going to be an issue. We'll give it a try. All right, so remember with this, I'm on the wrong page. Complaint. Okay, there's where the upload is. Do a test upload. So first I'm going to send a valid file. This is an invalid file. It'll give me that error because it's over 100 kilobytes. So I'll go ahead and send a dummy file here, which is a lot smaller, and see, oh, it's good. So that by sending that a valid file, I get the address, the API, the call here. You see, let me close that up. Okay, so here the post, you can see the file, the path here at not the path, the resource at the end here, file upload. So I'll kind of take a look at the body, see how everything's formatted. I can see here the name is file, and then the file name that got sent. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. Let me show you. I forgot to show you one more thing. You can see here the application, and then here the form data. So that's why I'm selecting this tab here, because I want to match what it's doing. So it's going to be a file type. Remember the name is just file. I'm going to go ahead and send. So I see there's a whole bunch of other stuff I have. First, I'm going to send that recap file, the one that's too big, just so you could see if it works or not. Let me make this a little bigger. Go ahead, everything looks good. I'm going to go ahead and send that. Look at the body. Actually, I got a flag here, but I might have to resend it to get a response here. The response is not coming back. Let me resend that again. So I'm not getting any response. Normally it would say successful or something like that. But you can see in the background, it gave me the flag. So let's say I want to send something else. Let's say I have a script I want to run. Let's say I want to run a Metasploit, use Metasploit. So I got a little shell here, PHP file. Let's see if I can send that. Of course, it went through. Look, it says I upload a file that's at PHP. So that's kind of like a beginning of your attack. If you're able to, if the application or the web is not, the browser is not validating, you could pretty much send anything you want, because all the checks are being checked on the browser, but it's not being checked on the API. So when I'm sending that shell.php, if I know where it's located, now I could connect to that shell via Metasploit or any other tool you have. You connect to that PHP shell, and you're able to get access on the server or on the network the server's on. And that's using a post method. And my last demo tonight is actually got it saved here. I'm not gonna explain too much of what's going on in the background, but I just want to show you guys what Postman can do. All right, so first I'll come do a little example here. I actually got it saved. Product listing. All right. So by sending this get method here, it's returning on this product. You can see the ID, the name, description, price, everything in there. With Postman, there's it accepts codes. You could run HTML codes. You could run JavaScript Java codes in here, and I got a little code here that's a little bit HTML and a little bit JavaScript here. So when I run that, now there's a thing called here a visualizer. I'm able to make it to a nice little format what I want. For this example, all I want is just the product name and the price, and it returns a nice little list for me where I could copy and paste. I could print out. I don't know why I want to print this out, but you get the point. You could play around with different whatever values you want, but P-Shed Deals at home started going like, Tymito, I don't really care about this. This has no value to me. Like, all right. So I hear you. So I got this other script I made just for him. So I call this little secret stuff. So I'm running this. This is actually a SQL injection where I'm able to inject this SQL code in here, and it returns to me the ID, the name, the password hash, the price. And this is a little bit more than the lesson. This is just a demo, so I'm not going to explain through how this SQL injection works. It's just I'm just here to show you, Postman is a pretty powerful tool to have if you know how to use it. And here, this is what P-Shed wants. He wants the username, he wants the password hash, and he wants the rows. So this concludes my demo for today, and I have some closing remarks. So always the most vulnerable things on a web application are user inputs. Now, user inputs are where most of the vulnerability comes from. So if you see a box, or if you're an application security guy or a person, you always want to check the user's input. If you're able to check the input, validate them, make sure they're not sending anything that's not intended for the application, you will eliminate most of the vulnerabilities on your application. As a user, you always want to look for input boxes, more like text boxes, user uploads. Those are some of the things that you want to use to leverage to attack that web application. Always pay attention to the URLs. There's you'll see parameters up there, and with the parameters, there's opportunities to do data tampering, even SQL injections, cross-site script attacks, and it's important to learn what's happening behind the scenes. It's good to get these tasks at CTS, but when you learn what's really going behind the scenes, you're looking at the headers, you're looking at the status codes. You get a better idea of how the application is built, and from that you get a better plan of how to attack if something doesn't work. Your next step, you kind of know the path. What's the next best path? It's kind of like the low hanging fruit. You know where to go to next if what you're working on doesn't work. And if you're new to cyber, have any questions, just let me or any members of the guild. We're all happy to help you. I know they've been a tremendous help for me. I'm only been in this cyber field for about 8 months, and I'm loving everything I'm learning from my mentors there, from my work, from the friends I'm made there. So here are some of the resources I used, and I guess we got some time, so open up to any questions anyone have out there.
Yep, here I am. Okay, so first question would be from, you guess it, our standing desk, lovable little bastard RJ. And he wants to know, let me find the question. Can a Black Fedora website on the Android's Chrome browser with a tool, what the hell? Okay, we're gonna go ahead and skip RJ's question until he passes 5th grade.
He already lost me on that second word.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and skip that until RJ passes 5th grade.
The noobs at the guild.
Yeah.
10-year experience.
Okay, this is from one of our newer guild members who everybody will meet, Trey. Would Parallel the Postman and Burp be the intruder module or the repeater module?
I'm not sure what that means, but are you talking about using it together, like 2 at a time? I mean, both at a time. What
is the Burp equivalent to Postman?
So Burp is a proxy. The pro version definitely do a lot more. Tons of stuff. We use that every day at my job, and it's just been mind blowing what it's capable of doing. And I'm just learning a small fraction of it. But the big difference is that Postman does not. It only intercepts the request by default. It doesn't intercept the response. With Burp, it will intercept anything you want it to intercept. And there's a lot add-ons you could use. But Postman is more. It's good for a team collaboration. There's a option to kind of import and export, but I guess you could do that with Burp too. So Burp is just a more powerful, like next level stuff. It does almost everything.
Okay. RJ rephrased his question. Can you test mobile browsers with Postman?
See, yes, because I haven't done it myself, but it's most browsers use APIs to communicate with the server. So Postman's it's created to test APIs. So yes, it will work as long as you might not be able to use the interceptor because the interceptor is an application that you install, but there's ways to use it to test mobile applications. Or
Okay. We'll go ahead and give it another minute or so for questions in the pipeline. Meanwhile, here's another question. What is your favorite capacity, or what is your favorite capability of Postman?
it's the last demo I did. Just in that test section. If you're a programmer, you could incorporate a lot of your scripts or stuff you want it to display on that. Just like example is just shooting out just username and passwords. That is definitely my favorite function of Postman.
Okay. Before we go ahead and call it for tonight, we have something that we'd like to announce from last week. You see, there is one lucky individual who, by the capacity of his luck, got something. Let's find out who that is. Joshua Gross, a man of true class and passion. Congratulations, because you, sir, accomplished great things, great, amazing things, the best of things, without even have to do anything. Just goes to show you, folks, if you watch Undercroft stuff, good things will happen to you, right? Ty, last question I had for you, and that was, so I understand that you have recently taken up position with working on the same team as the legendary, amazing, and oh so sweet and wonderful Dr. Sunny Ware. Can you tell us more about that?
Ooh, yeah. Been working there for about 3 weeks. And I can honestly say from those last 3 weeks, I've learned more than what I learned 6 months from the other application security. I'm learning a lot of new stuff where it's just mind blowing. Like I have no clue Burp could do that. And like every day, it's just awesome going to work because every day you're learning like how just more and the full, not the full power, but it's like this little thing you thought Burp existed, but then as you get to learn more, it's like a big giant. It's like, man, just never, yeah. That's like kind of learning from
Gotcha. Big giant. All right. Well, Ty, brother, it has been a absolute pleasure hosting this with you. Absolute pleasure hearing you speak. And I got to say, like, from where you were coming out of New Skills to a New Fight and where you are now as a real breathing cybersecurity engineer and now pen tester, like, night and day, dude. So the industry is glad to have you, and we're lucky to have you, man. Everybody, that's tonight's Guild Talk. Very, very, very interesting coming. Do we know what it is? I know what it is. Maybe even Ty knows what it is. Maybe some other people know what it is, but the question is, do you, humble viewer, know what it is? If you're in the guild, you'll know what it is. But if you're not in the guild, I apologize, but you must be left out in the cold. The poor, poor cold. Everybody, that's a wrap.